Hi there, I'm Becky Hammond and welcome to Isogo TV. Wherever you are on your strengths journey, I want to help you take your greatest strengths and apply them to your everyday work and your everyday life for increased energy, decreased frustration at work and at home too. And today you're joining me for episode 41 where we are answering a question. It's Q&A day. And this week's question comes from a workshop that I did just last week. And as we were just introducing the concept of developing our strengths versus fixating on our weaknesses, one of the guys asked a question and he said, what if one of my weaknesses gets in the way of me being able to develop one of my strengths? And I thought this was an astute question and I would love to answer that here today. So let's dive in. So when my client asked me this question in the workshop last week, I immediately turned around and asked him for an example. Explain, what do you mean by that question? And what he came up with was that, let's say he has the learner strength and he has everything he needs in order to learn something new and awesome. He has the idea, he has the resources, he has the desire, but he finds that he is terrible with time management. So he never gets to the point where he can develop this learner strength. And I love this example because it points out a couple different things. And the first thing is that time management and not being good at that is a skill. It's a skill that anyone can develop and get better at over time if they invest time and their talents into it. Because their talents, these strengths that we're talking about developing, are the things that are most natural about us. These are our patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior. And we can use those things to get better at the skill of time management. And in this case, I think he's right. You do have to improve that skill that you're feeling weak in order to be able to accurately and functionally work on developing your learner talent. And so as I was thinking through that example, I wanted to give you some examples of ways that you could use your talents to develop that skill of time management. Because I think it's a valid point. Like, how do we really use what we're wired with to get over the obstacles that we feel like are keeping us from developing our strengths? So I came up with half a dozen different examples and I wanted to share a couple with you. One of them, when you think about time management and the lens through which you see the world, your talents, sometimes you might need to schedule in time to think. And that's going to help you improve your time management skills. Especially if you're someone who has intellection or analytical or deliberative, these question answering, thoughtful, inside your head type talents, you are going to thrive and be more productive when you have scheduled time to think. And I'm not saying that's your time then to work on your learner strength, but literally your day will be more productive when you have scheduled time in your day to think, when you're wired with some of those more thinking and intellectual type talents. Another example is sometimes you, depending on your talents, might need to have smaller increments of time scheduled out or larger increments of time scheduled out. So if for example, if you're someone who has discipline or consistency, you might feel like 30 minutes of time is what you need to schedule in order to feel productive. That you want to have something scheduled for every 30 minutes throughout the day. For somebody who has a ranger, adaptability, ideation, you might feel like 30 minutes time blocks throughout the day feels like it's choking you. It's constrictive and it really doesn't add to your productivity. In fact, it might detract from your productivity. Instead, you might want to have larger chunks of time that are set aside for a particular subject, a particular topic, that maybe that particular subject or topic is different every day in that larger chunk of time. And then the last example I want to share with you is about people. It's about, sometimes you will do better at time management if you have people around you. And sometimes, depending on the way you're wired, you will do better when you don't have as many people around you. So somebody who has relator or woo or communication, they might find that they will become better at time management as they schedule in times to be with other people. Whereas other people who have intellection or are just more introverted in nature might feel like they need to schedule time that doesn't include as many people, 1, 2, 0 other people, to be more productive and be better able to manage their time. And once you have then used your strengths to overcome this obstacle of time management, then that's when you can devote time and energy into developing that learner strength. That you can dive into those resources, that you can get excited and energized by the things that you're learning, because now you've overcome that weakness in that skill of time management using your strengths. So that's the way I answered it to the guy in the workshop the other day, and that's the way I decided I was going to answer it for you here today. So that was your Q and my A. And I'd love to know, did I answer your question, or did I bring up any more questions for you that you would like me to answer? I would love to be able to be a resource for you, to be able to answer questions and help you use your strengths to increase your energy and decrease your frustration all the way around. If you are somebody who is enjoying these Isogo TV episodes, I really would love for you to rate, review, and share. You can rate and review over at iTunes. That helps get the word out so that other people can find this podcast as well. And to share. Just share it in your social media networks, or just with the person that's sitting next to you. If there's someone around you that you know that needs this strengths paradigm in their life. Because I believe, and I think you do too, that it can be life-changing. So thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to having you come along next week on Isogo TV.